Shalom, Kal Halal Yom La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of GMS that rule well, who I learned the truth from, and salutations and blessings to you elect, starting with the 144,000 on down. So this lesson is entitled Red Tape, Bureaucracy, or maybe Red Tape Corruption. I'm not sure exactly of the title, but this term red tape, all right, is a bureaucratic term, you know. Let's get into it. This is red tape off Wikipedia. Red tape is usually defined as excessive and or unnecessary government regulations and bureaucracy that generate financial or time compliance costs. Now, the word bureaucracy, I remember, if I look it up, I'm pretty sure it's not gonna. So the word bureaucracy. Let me just go to Edom Online. Bureaucracy, tyrannical officialdom, excessive multiplication of administrative bureaus. Yeah, the word bureau. Originally cloth for desk, red. That's interesting, red. But I believe the word the before I looked it up, had to do some with corruption, something like that. I forget exactly. If I'm not mistaken, you know. But you already know bureaucratic bullshit. You know, this place runs on bureaucratic fucking nonsense. You know, so as it says, unnecessary government regulations and bureaucracy that generate financial or time compliance costs. Red tape is in excess of the necessary administrative burden or cost to the public of implementing government policies and procedures. This definition is also consistent with popular usage, which generally views red tape as negative. Red tape can hamper the ability of firms to compete, grow, and create jobs. Research finds red tape has a cost to public sector workers and can reduce employee well-being and job satisfaction. Now let's get the scripture. This is Ecclesiastes 5 and 8 in the KJV. It says, "If thou seest the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter. For he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they." In the NLT, it reads, "Don't be surprised if you see a poor person being oppressed by the powerful, and if justice is being miscarried throughout the land." And that's what you see today. Now, that happened throughout different kingdoms. You know, power corrupts. You know, shit gets lost in translation, man. You know, but this place runs off corruption, off burden. You know, burdening the common man. Right? Don't be surprised. Right? For every official is under orders from higher up, and matters of justice get lost in red tape and bureaucracy. You know, even the king milks the land for his own profit, right? So that term red tape is you know, we just read. I'm gonna go back to it, but like I said, this place runs off this bureaucratic, you know, nonsense. You know, all these forms you have to fill out and get this permit and get this permission here, and you got, oh, there's a fee, this fee and that fee, and you know, it's all garbage, man. But it all points to the fact that this man is a devil. We're talking about you Edomites. Okay. Red tape definition. The term red tape is sometimes employed as an umbrella term covering almost all imagined ills of bureaucracy, both public and private. However, red tape is usually defined more narrowly as government policies, guidelines, and forms that are excessive, duplicative, and or unnecessary, and that generate a financial or time-based compliance cost. This definition is consistent with popular usage, which generally views red tape as negative. Okay. Cost of red tape. It is impossible to know exactly how much of the burden of government regulations is red tape. Now, that term actually, red tape, I believe it from the 17th century, 1600s in Spain, where in official documents, you know, like in envelopes, they had a red ribbon, you know, uh, put over them to seal them, to show that this was official government document, so to speak. But it became excessive. All right, so that's like a term. That's like not a parable, but like a moniker. Or, the word is slipping my mind, but pretty much it's a representation of, look, this, here's this government procedure, here's this protocol, here's this guideline, and it's all bullshit. You just need to do something. You need to get your business up. You know what I'm saying? You need to, you know, do something that fit. Like even in this kingdom, man, if you want to do something on your property, you need a permit. You need to go to city hall. You know, you need to fill out papers, pay somebody, pay this fee. You know, oh, zoning doesn't allow this, or zoning, you know, you gotta grease, you gotta oil some wheels. You know, you gotta grease a palm. You know, you gotta have connections or whatnot. It's all garbage, man. You know, it's all bureaucratic parasites, pretty much. So it says it is impossible to know exactly how much of the burden of government regulations is red tape, i.e., is excessive and delivers little or no benefit. However, a survey by the Canadian Federation of Independent Business found red tape represented about 28 slack it 28% of the total burden of regulation in Canada in 2020. The total cost of regulation for US businesses or business was estimated in 2021 at $364.3 billion, and for Canadian business in 2020 at US 31.9 billion, or 38.8 Canadian billion. Okay, the cost represents 1.5% of GDP for the US and 1.7% uh, 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 percent for Canada. You know, which is their how much the country makes, GDP, gross domestic product. So let's go down here. Red tape and economic growth. While efficient government institutions can foster economic growth, cumbersome and or unnecessary bureaucracy that delays permits and licenses. You know that term license um, means to give permission or something like that, but that term LIC, lice, I believe it goes back to sin. If I'm not mistaken, I can't for sure remember, but I believe the Apostle Gabar, or one of the apostles, they brought that out years ago. Which, if you look it up, you're not gonna really find it, because they be changing up etymologies, man. You know, when you look up certain words 10, 15 years ago on Etym Online, they're not the same today, and that goes for Blue Letter as well. Okay. It says red tape has been found to be an obstacle to investment and growth in a study using data for 68 countries. Okay, let's jump down here. Red tape and corruption. The existence of regulations and authorizations provides a kind of monopoly power to the officials who must approve or inspect regulated activities. You know, and it's all corruption. Like if you watch or you know about mafia, you know, a good show, Sopranos, they kind of go, you know, they show that, you know, oh, I got this public official, I got this union official, you know, like they just show you how, for the regular man, he can't get ahead, man. You know, you need to know people. You need to, like I said, grease some palms. You need to give money to this guy. You know, a finder's fee for this guy, this kind of fee. You know, get this guy a big gift. You know, and it just shows you, man, whether it be appraisers, you know, house appraisers, city officials, you know, that can bypass certain zoning restrictions, or you know what I mean. There's all this garbage, man. All this fucking garbage. We're on land. We're on fucking land. You know, you're supposed to be able to build and do things very freely, or at least at the very least with limited restrictions. You know, with very little restrictions. But this place runs off, like I said, man. This bureaucratic garbage of hey, you know, I need this, I need this, I need that. You know, pretty much you gotta pay people. People gotta get paid. That's the bottom line. You know, that's the bottom line. Where you gotta do a favor for this guy. People gotta do favors for each other. City council and oh, that's the governor, and or that's the mayor. You know, all garbage, man. But that's who's ruling, right? Esau's ruling, right? As the scripture says in ecclesiasticus, as the ruler of the city is, so are the people, so are the officials, so are the officers, so forth and so on. You know, when regulations are not transparent, or an authorization can be obtained only from a specific office or individual, that is, there is no competition in the granting of these authorizations, bureaucrats have a great deal of power, which may lead to corruption. Officials may even intentionally introduce new regulations and red tape in order to be able to extract more bribes by threatening to deny permits. Particularly in developing and transition economies, surveys indicate that a large proportion of an enterprise manager's time, especially for small enterprise, requires dealing with bureaucracies, and this time can be reduced through the payment of bribes. Okay, now let's go. Red tape, corruption. Red tape or bureaucracy can lead to corruption in a number of ways, including monopolies when regulations are not transparent, or only a specific office or individual can grant authorizations. Bureaucrats can have a lot of power. We just read that part. It says complex regulations. Incoherent regulations can create opportunities for bribery and other forms of corruption. For example, in fisheries, complex regulations can make it difficult to comply with the rules. Institutional barriers, individuals and businesses may be willing to pay bribes to circumvent institutional barriers. Public officials may create additional bureaucratic procedures to extort bribes. See? So there can be, oh, this is the law. We have a great system of law. We have great justice here. No, this is a place of injustice. Okay, I'm talking about America, Canada, the West, and really the whole world follows Esau's march in this crap. China got the same bureaucratic BS. The motherfuckers never wore suit and tie, Tubal Cain. You know what I'm saying? The tie with the balls for Tubal Cain. Them guys never wore that shit. Japan, them businessmen, them guys never. That's not their style, right? But they learned that shit from Esau. You know, as Job 9:24 says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Okay, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. It says corrupt bureaucrats, like in Batman. Um, when that guy Chill, I think his name was Chill, he killed Bruce Wayne's parents, and he grew up and he wanted justice. He wanted to see him dead, and that dumb bitch, forget her name, Katie Holmes, I think. She's like, we have a great system here of justice and regulations. And Batman, Bruce Wayne's like, oh, your system is broken. He's like, who's he gonna be tried by? Corrupt bureaucrats. And also when Ra's al Ghul was training Batman, right? They had a guy hand tied, and Batman's like, who's that? He's like, he was a farmer. Then he tried to take his neighbor's land, and he became a murderer. Now he will be tried. And then Batman's like, what will happen to him? He's like, justice. He said, criminals thrive on the indulgence of society's understanding. you know? And they're right, man. And that's why they're like, look, our mission is we got to destroy Gotham. It has become a breeding ground for corruption and injustice. When you watch that movie. But he's right, bro. And Batman's like, look, I can't kill this guy. He's like, we can try him. I will try him, but I'm no executioner. And then Ra's al Ghul's like, tried by who? Corrupt bureaucrats? And that's true, man. Like, you got murderers, you got all kinds of degenerates where the law is very, very plain, man. Okay? The law for murder is the penalty of death. But here, you can get 20 years. In Canada, life is 10 years, man. This place is super fucking corrupt, man. If you murder somebody, okay, and there's been times where that charge has been dropped from first degree to second degree to manslaughter. But even if you get first degree murder here, or let's say you get second degree, you can do 10 years, maybe even under, if you have good behavior. Guys get out in 7, 8, 9 years. That's not unheard of. That's very common in Canada. And really, for a full life sentence, is 10 years, man, a decade. And then you're out. You're on probation, you're on this, but you're out. It's a fucking corrupt society, man. Okay? It says, corrupt bureaucrats. A corrupt bureaucrat can extort bribes from an agent in exchange for reducing red tape or to conceal information produced through red tape. Examples of red tape include filling out multiple forms to renew a driver's license, a company having to go through numerous government agencies and regulations to get approval for a new product. In Canada here, if you want to sell, like, let's say you make your own product, you make I don't know, some type of oil, or you make some health product. Let's say you're a herbalist or holistic practitioner. You have to pay. You got to go to Health Canada. You got to give them a sample of your product for them to lab test it and make sure everything is as the ingredients read, and it's pure and it's not dangerous and all that stuff. But each product requires a license. Each product requires a license that costs $10,000 for each fucking product, man. That's some corrupt bureaucratic bullshit. $10 fucking thousand, man. This is some fucking bullshit, man. That's why the Most High is about to take you fucking devils out, man. Okay? Now let's go to, there's that Proverbs 13. I wanted to get this. 13 and 23 NLT. It says, a poor person's farm may produce much food, but injustice sweeps it all away. You know? And these farmers, they catch hell, man. Like just these regular farmers, they catch hell. The Amish are catching hell in Canada. The government is fining them, I believe, hundreds of thousands of, if not millions, because when they were crossing the border, certain of them crossing the border during the time of 5 years ago, when you sheeple, you degenerate people complied with no backbone. When you cross the border, you needed to have that app, right? You needed a certain app for the vid, right? For the 19, the C19, you needed an app to cross the border. Them Amish, they don't got phones, bro. They don't got internet. They don't got none of that. They don't drive motor vehicles. Okay, they're in horse and buggy and carriage. But guess what? They till off the land. They have chickens. They have cows. They produce. They have tomatoes, onion. They live off the farm, and whatever they don't have, they barter with other Amish people or maybe regular people. Okay. Well, when you cross the border every time, I believe the fine was 10 grand or some shit, maybe even more. So now that this shit's over, the government of Canada is fining these guys, and they're finding out, oh shit, we got fined 500 grand or 600 or a million, and they can't pay that. So what they're doing, they want to do is take their title from the land, because they don't have real titles like a loyal title, but they have, they own the land that they're on pretty much, and the government wants to take that. So that's some bureaucratic bullshit. Those are regular people, bro. You know, and a lot of majority Edomites. I'm not trying to make a plight for them, but hey, man, you want some good fresh eggs at good price? Go to the Amish, bro. you know. Um, so I mentioned the farmers. So injustice for farmers, lack unequal access to land. Small farmers own only 12% of the world's agricultural land, which limits their productivity and perpetuates poverty. And these guys, they want these Edomites, they want the lab grown meat, GMOs. Well, we don't need farmers. We got the labs that produce this shit. You know, seedless food and all this garbage, right? Lack of access to resources. Historically, disadvantaged farmers have had less access to financial resources, information, political standing, and educational and professional trajectories. Exploitation of farm workers. Farm workers are often excluded from federal wage and labor protections and are exposed to unregulated pesticides, harsh weather, and other hazardous work conditions. Racial injustice. In the US, millions of acres were stripped from black farmers due to lynchings, property exploitations, and banks and federal farm offices that refused them loans. See, and Jake caught a lot of that red tape bureaucratic bullshit. A lot of Jakes were doing very well during the Great Depression. Okay, a lot of Black Wall Streets, man. A lot of Jake Towns that were doing very well. And guess what? When them suburbs were being built, a lot of them Jakes, the majority of them, if not all, they could not go there. They couldn't live because there was a bureaucratic. There was I forget exactly what. I think Tariq Nasheed he did a video on it, or one of those guys, but they broke it down very good, man. There was actually forms that were keeping these Jakes from those neighborhoods. They pretty much denied them. They had the money, they had the down payment, they can even buy the whole house, but it's all as the saying goes, the devil is in the details. All these forms, this form, page 50, page 60, oh, fill all these forms, and and you got to read that fine print. That's why these lawyers, these attorneys, man, these devils, right? Law school, they learn. They got to read this, read that, Black's Law Dictionary, get into this. So they know about the policies and this form and that form and all this garbage, man. All this fucking madness. The law, that's why the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai are so great. They're very plain, you know. There was no court date. Oh, we got a court date in 6 months. You're on probation for now. All this bullshit. That you were arrested, brought to the judges, and the case was dealt with right there, right then and there. You know, the law system is a complete fucking bureaucratic joke, man. A red tape bureaucratic joke. Environmental destruction, the lack of regulatory practices in agriculture has led to environmental destruction. So pretty much, yeah, man, your farm can produce a lot, but injustice sweeps it away, man. You know, um, a lot of these farmers, they have to use these pesticides or they get fined. They literally get fined, man. They have to use Monsanto's seeds, the self-destructive seeds. Seeds are supposed to plant them, it grows, and then other seeds fall, and then next year in the dirt it grows again. But this devil created a self-destructive seed where from that seed, in which that seed can be corrupt. That's probably a fucking GMO seed, because what seed do you know that self-destructs? But that seed grows up. It grows whatever plant, whatever herb, whatever crop it's growing, and then that's it. You got to buy more. You got to buy from these devils, man. So that's red tape bureaucracy. Anyway, I hope you're edified with that. I want to say Kahalalim La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Racha HaKodash, Shalom to the elect, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of GMS.